When people picture wartime survival, they often imagine rows of canvas tents, flapping in the wind, drenched by endless rain. But in World War II, those tents became more of a liability than a lifeline. Fabric tore, stakes pulled loose, mud swallowed every pole. Yet soldiers still endured storms that would flatten entire camps. How? By turning to a shelter method that did not rely on fabric at all, one that used the earth itself as armor. Early in the war, armies believed tents were essential for comfort and order. But the battlefield taught a harsher truth. In France, torrential rain soaked canvas until it sagged and collapsed. In the Pacific, humidity and mildew turned fabric into mush. In North Africa, sand shredded seams like sandpaper. Tents offered cover from sun and light drizzle, but not from nature's extremes. And on the front lines, you couldn't always find level ground, hammer stakes, or keep fabric anchored when artillery blasted the soil apart. So soldiers started asking a simple question. What if the best shelter wasn't above the ground, but inside it? Out of necessity came innovation. Soldiers began digging into the earth, creating what they called slit trenches, foxholes, and dugouts. These weren't just holes, they were miniature fortresses. The soil walls blocked wind, absorbed shrapnel, and kept temperatures far more stable than air-filled tents ever could. A simple poncho or canvas sheet stretched across the top became the roof. Pile on grass, mud, or branches, and suddenly you had a waterproof, stormproof hideaway. It wasn't pretty, but it worked, and it saved countless lives. The dugout shelter wasn't unique to one army or region, it was universal. In the Pacific, American and Japanese troops both relied on earthen shelters during endless monsoon rains. In Europe, soldiers dug into frozen soil among hedgerows and forests, creating dry, wind-proof hollows when tents turned to ice. And in North Africa, when sandstorms shredded tents to ribbons, men burrowed into the dunes for safety. The principle stayed the same across all fronts. The land was your ally, not your obstacle. While fabric blew away, earth stayed put. The process was simple enough for a single exhausted soldier to complete in under an hour. Step 1. Choose a location. Always on slightly raised ground, never in a valley or stream bed where water collects. Step 2. Dig the base, deep enough to sit or lie in, usually about 2 feet down. The surrounding walls would instantly block the cold wind. Step 3. Create the roof. They'd stretch a poncho, a tarp, or even just interwoven tree branches across the top. Step 4. Add protection. Pile on leaves, mud, or grass for waterproofing and camouflage. And finally, Step 5. Add drainage. A small trench dug around the shelter would channel rainwater away. With those few steps, a soldier could withstand storms that shredded entire tent camps. Once inside, the dugout offered more than just dryness. It offered concealment. A tent practically shouts your location to aircraft and artillery observers. A dugout, covered with local soil and brush, simply vanishes into the landscape. Soldiers lined the floor with straw, pine needles, or spare clothing to stay off the damp ground. They even built benches or sleeping ledges from sticks and boards. 2 or 3 men might share one space, conserving body warmth and, just as importantly, morale. In some longer campaigns, troops built semi-permanent dugouts, reinforced with timber or corrugated metal, turning them into true underground bunkers. These earthen shelters outlasted not just storms, but entire seasons. So why did this simple hole in the ground work so well? The answer lies in the physics of the earth itself. Soil is a natural insulator. It stores heat and dampens temperature swings. Even just a few inches of packed dirt can reduce wind chill by half and maintain a steady interior climate. These are the same principles that later inspired modern earth-sheltered homes and bunker architecture. By using the Earth's thermal mass, soldiers were unknowingly tapping into the same science that architects would rediscover decades later. Today, we live in a world of ultralight tents and space-age fabrics, but storms still rip poles apart. Winds still flatten nylon domes, and nature still humbles our gear. The WWII dugout method reminds us that survival isn't just about equipment. It's about understanding and working with the environment. With only a shovel, a poncho, and a bit of patience, you can build protection that rivals the best camping gear. It's simple, sustainable, and proven under fire. If you're ever caught outdoors in sudden bad weather, whether you're hiking, hunting, or in a bug-out situation, remember these basics. Find higher ground, never where water might pool. Dig just deep enough for your body's shape. Keep the roof low and tight to trap warmth. Line the floor with insulation, grass, leaves, even your own jacket. Then cover the top with your tarp and natural debris. In less than an hour, you can have a stormproof, windproof shelter that's nearly invisible. It's not luxury. It's survival science from another era. The forgotten shelter trick of World War II wasn't born in laboratories. It was carved from desperation and ingenuity. Soldiers learned that the most reliable defense wasn't in what they carried, but in how they used the ground beneath them. For modern survivalists and history enthusiasts alike, that's the lasting lesson. Adapt. Simplify. Endure. If you value these hidden survival methods from history, subscribe to our channel, where we uncover the lost science that once kept people alive when everything else failed. Because sometimes, the smartest shelter isn't above you, it's beneath your feet.